Click the fucking go live. All right, I click go live now. What the heck?
Okay, so just...
What the heck? So,
Rewind.
All right.
We're gonna be talking.
You
All right,
fuckers.
guys, we start from the beginning.
Well,
What was that? Who was I talking this to?
I'm so sorry.
yeah, you bricked the live.
Hey, I am a shit pilot, right? And like also apparently a shit live streamer.
Yeah, too bad I already told half of the story. So yeah, what can you do?
Yeah.
Hey,
We'll
so
try
we're gonna
this.
go back to the
Welcome,
introductions,
everyone.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right. So
sorry
we're
to
gonna
have
start
you
from
guys.
introduction. I'm gonna say again the joke. I think that was a good joke about my vacuum cleaner. So there we go, guys. I hope we're live now. I hope we're live now. And I again forgot about all the introduction, speech I prepared. So the first guest we have is my vacuum cleaner that's been standing here for 3 weeks, and this is how lazy am I. Try to beat that. And our permanent, expert, Mr. Nice, is right here with us.
Hey.
And because we weren't live, I have to repeat it again, otherwise I'm in trouble. So Neil is so cute. Look at him. Because if I don't say that, then then I will be in trouble because, well, that's what his wife told to me.
Okay.
So yeah, this is Mr. Nice,
I'm glad that
the
we
shit
made that
pilot.
clear. I gotta make sure everything's good. Okay.
Yeah,
now we're
sorry
good,
guys. I'm so sorry about that.
So yeah, if you can hear my sound of my voice, which I think that everyone can now, like that means that you're a shit pilot. And I'm really happy to be live now for sure. And with us tonight, we have Mr. Vlatko. Vlatko is the CTO of Orqa and our good friend. And happy to have him here with us tonight for sure. Look at him there.
Yeah,
He's
and so
pretty cute too.
yeah, he's
Hey, guys.
kind of So CTO, how do you what that means?
That stands for Chief Technology Officer.
So you're like a big boss, but there is a bigger boss.
Always, there is always a bigger ball.
Yeah.
Bigger
Ain't
balls.
that the truth? Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Always.
I'm so sorry about that I didn't click. Like I thought I clicked it and it was like, all right, it's not clicked.
But I already told half of the story. But okay,
But you need to
No, it's all
introduce
good.
the other guy.
Yeah, but, and who else is here though?
Should we just leave him?
Yeah, it
seems-
works.
Holy shit! This is why we did it again, because this
Right.
time
You cannot-
yeah, it's
you
almost
cannot
like
say-
we didn't have technical difficulties.
You cannot say shit because then the filter turns on and just disconnects
Yeah.
you.
It's okay. Well, I have determined that it's okay to say shit pilot in total, and that's not like saying shit. It's just, it's
Yeah.
like a whole phrase. So we're good there. But if you want to say shit by yourself, it could be dangerous. I'm okay with it, but who knows what
Yeah.
happens.
Can we
Alright,
say F word?
in the chat, guys? Can you please confirm that the live is going? Because, like I just
Yeah.
said, I just saw like a little message that my OBS is like reconnecting, and now it says connected again, so it should be good. Please, some confirmation from the chat that the live is going. Yeah, Mr. Neil
so.
is very blurry. I don't know.
Yeah. That's probably me, but Johnny 5 says we're live.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thank you.
he's
So
blurry at the best of times, guys.
yeah, look
That's
at
the
that.
truth.
Because maybe Neil is not so cute, so the camera is like, I am refusing to show this face.
That's
Neil,
really
Neil,
weird.
what are you
Oh.
drinking to be that blurry?
Yeah.
Man, it's like everybody else is drinking. I'm fine. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
Yeah, maybe you can put your like hand and then move it away a little bit.
No,
All
he's
right.
just blurry
it'll
guy.
It'll figure it out. Like,
Yeah. So, Mr. Tony, is it correct to say that you are the brain of Orqa now? Or like,
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
who is the brain of Orqa? Is it Vlatka? Because he's technical boss.
chief.
It's kind of a communal brain, It's like
I
a
like that.
distributed brain, which is nice.
You mean like Borg? We are
Yeah,
Borg.
like Borg. Yeah.
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 So in agenda for today, guys, as you might figure it out, we're gonna talk about a lot about Orqa, about the breaking problems, about all the Orqa plans. We're gonna try to roast Vlatka and blame him for Orqa breaking problems, and we see what he has, what he has something to say in defense. And we got Tony here, which is originally the creator of Ghost Immersion RC, which is now merged into Orqa. We can probably also like discuss that, like how Vlatka managed to buy Tony's ass? Like, is it like, you know, how much was that? And like, you know, yeah, and
So we can
He's a
say
cheap.
ass.
His ass is cheap.
is it Tony
Oh man,
It's all an illusion, actually.
illusion?
Yes.
Like, just like your ass or everything? Like,
Oh, my ass, definitely.
yeah. By the way, while we were talking just with ourselves, by the way, we had fun these 12 minutes. We didn't start our live stream, but Mr. Tony had some technical difficulties, and like I'm glad now he doesn't have them anymore with a microphone.
right?
Yeah, so we can act
Asi-
like this
asi-
12
aside
minutes
that-
was yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that I was telling a story for like 10 minutes and now I have to do it again,
It was
right?
practice.
Yeah, it was practice. You know, it's always like
Yeah.
practice is always good.
Yeah,
So we're
but-
gonna start again. So the first topic is how did this breaking problem happen, and like what excuses you have for that, Mr. Vladka or Mr.
Yeah,
Tony?
take us,
You know,
take us through the day. Take us through
Yeah.
the day.
All right. I'll start over. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be that passionate like I was 10 minutes
Oh,
ago,
yeah.
but let's do it again.
yeah.
All right. So
See,
that
it's very
was
spicy topic.
that was I think it was the 29th of April, right? Neil, did you?
Yeah,
or
well,
May?
it was
No,
for
April,
sure ice storm.
No,
day.
9th of April, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I woke up very early that morning around 5 a.m. I grabbed my phone, started scrolling through Facebook posts, and I saw someone posted like a screenshot, actually a photo of the screens in the goggles with the brick thing with that logo. And I immediately grabbed the screenshot and sent it to our support guys and told them like, hey guys, can you take care of this man's problem first thing in the morning? And then I continued scrolling through Facebook, and then oh fuck, there is another one with the same problem, and then another one, and like, what the hell is going on? Like, goggles are breaking all over the world. And yeah, soon enough the phone started ringing. Everybody was like on high alert. Like, I mean, nobody actually thought that it's something intentional. I personally was kind of half mad because I thought it's some kind of a bug that we missed for so many years. Like, how could this happen? Like all of a sudden, and like on the same day, all of the goggles are breaking. What did we do wrong? How is it possible?
Everything.
So yeah, it was basically a long weekend here. It was supposed to be a long weekend, like, but I mean, everybody, actually, all of our developers, everybody, like, showed up in the office without even we didn't actually call anybody to come. The guys just started to show up in the office, and like in the couple of hours, we realized this isn't like some bug that we missed, and it was clear that it was intentional. And basically, we were all stunned. Some guys still didn't want to believe, no, there is no way that it's intentional. How come? So, but yeah, it turned out it was one of our, I can say, ex-friends, one of our first developers who worked for us. Like, he was the number 3 employee in the company.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah. So this guy actually implemented this malicious code like almost 3 years ago, before the thing happened, and he didn't tell anybody. Like, we didn't know anything. He was like 2 weeks before the thing happened, the breaking incident happened. He had a lunch with a couple of our guys, of our developers, his colleagues, and he didn't tell anyone. Like, one of our guys was funny. He said like he was so disappointed when this happened. He said like, "Oh man, I feel like my wife cheated on me."
Yeah, that's
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. And like, it's nuts for me to think about like what it would be like to do something like that and then sit on a secret, like just
Like-
sit on that knowledge
Like
for
for more
long.
than
Like,
more than 2 years, man.
yeah,
I don't.
it's like
I mean,
such a long game. I mean, it's hard to keep a secret, period. And then to have something like that where you just
Yeah.
see people every day and work alongside them every day and know
Yeah.
that that's there. Like that's just so wild. to
So,
me.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what?
That's definitely some sock puppet shit.
He
I
actually
think
he
this
actually
time.
left. He actually left.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually left, and he wasn't working with us like 2 years ago. So that means
Okay.
that the whole thing was planned much longer time ago, and he implemented this like
So
I
The
would
crazy
say
thing, it was
almost 3 years ago.
planned. It was
Yeah,
planned
go.
to actually hit on a long weekend. I mean, I don't know whether
Yeah.
that turned out to be an accident or just to create maximum carnage.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
to
like,
plan that kind of thing 2 years.
I feel like if you plan something that far ahead, you're going to look at the calendar and make it hit on a particular day. I don't think that's an accident. I mean,
No,
but,
but I mean,
that's just dirty.
man,
Vlad-
2
Vlad-
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Vladka, go ahead.
No, just you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, I wanted to
Go
ask. So, what doesn't, I don't understand, right? Like like motives of this guy, why he did that. Like, what was his plan? Because
Money.
as you say, he never told you about that, and
He never told anyone.
so
Like
I
nobody
understand,
knew.
like I understand if he wanted money, he would tell like you, I don't know, a couple of days in advance or something. But like he
Exactly.
never told like what was his plan. So that doesn't
I don't.
adds up,
I don't know. I'm still trying to understand this whole idea. I mean, he explicitly asked for money, a lot of it, but I don't understand the way that he played the whole thing. Like, if I would want to blackmail you, I would like threaten you that something's gonna happen if you don't pay, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't just let the thing happen and then try to blackmail you because then it's too late. You already did it to me. Like,
Yeah.
I still don't understand this.
So
Yeah.
I
So,
think
yeah.
one of the criticism from the community, what I saw, because it was a big thing on Facebook about what happened, and like a lot
Yeah.
of people like criticizing also Orqa, and like one of the big points is that how did you allow this code? Like, did you own the code that he made, or he just provide you like binaries, so you never get to see the
Alright.
code?
All right. So
you want me
he
to-
was, yeah. Okay. If you want to go, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Do you want me to take that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got to understand this. This is like employee number 3. So this guy was hired before Vladko. So at this time, this guy was the entire software team. Okay, so there was nobody to review his code at that time.
Yeah,
And
I'm
when he
not
left,
I'm not the software guy. Serjan, who is a CEO, is not the software guy. Ivan, who is who is also a co-founder, sales CSO, he's also not a software guy. So we couldn't review the code, right?
Yeah.
So then what happened is that this guy wasn't a very good communicator, and it was quite normal to send him a message and hear back 2 weeks later. And when he left, obviously the vast majority of the code in the goggles was all source code was available, with by this point other teams working on it. But there was one tiny library, I can't remember the exact size, but literally a few kilobytes, which was kind of the heart of the bootloader code. And it was something that we knew we didn't have the source for, but it was the bootloader. It was nothing super critical here. At least we didn't think. And after weeks asking for the sources for this, it was kind of ignored, just like every other message to the guy. So nobody really suspected anything.
Yeah, because that was normal, like to wait for reply for days or weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's interesting is knowing that we didn't have the sources for this, there was a pretty big project to regenerate, to rewrite all of this stuff. But this project wasn't quite finished by the time the time bomb went off. So we had very good intentions. That process was accelerated, as you can imagine. And then all of that code was ripped out and replaced with our own.
So why, like, do you have any explanations? Because that guy on his Facebook group, he claimed that Orqa is not capable of fixing it, and like that the Orqa need to reach you, and like that made me scared a little bit because like he sounded very confident.
Orqa is full of some pretty smart characters across the board. and I think they were underestimated.
Well, right now
So
we are a team of like more than 60 people. Like most
Okay,
of
wow.
most of those guys are engineers. So we have like very capable software dev team right now, which we didn't have at the time he was with us. We were, as I said, just a couple of guys in a small office at that time.
Mm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Neil, do you have any like? Well, we need to like try to poke them somehow. You know,
No,
like...
poke 'em. I mean, like I'll just say, like as a user, like just taking myself back to that day, right? Because like that was Ice Storm Day. That was a big race. It was like like it's the kind of the biggest money race in the U.S. So right there on the top, or I think it is really. And we were there. We had qualified the day before, and like or that was our qualifying day. But we only had a few packs to do. Anyways, it was very nerve-wracking to wake up. I mean, and I'm only saying it as a user, so it's even crazy to think like, oh, it was hard for me, like my goggles weren't going to work. But like to think about myself as like a business owner or as a manager in a company, and just seeing your product just fail around the world, like that's so scary to me if I put myself in those shoes. And like it was just a really wild day. And like I really thought, I mean, I guess this isn't going to be like spicy or poking at you guys, but I was really, impressed that you guys, and I really want to know more about how this happened that day, but somehow you guys pulled together, figured out a fix for everybody, had communicated that to Chris Thomas. Chris Thomas had set up, disseminated the information and set up a little assembly line in the back of the pit area at Ice Storm, and was lining people up to fix goggles. And you either had to make the decision like, well, we're going to fix your goggles right now, or you could plug them in and leave them plugged in all day, and we'll figure out what's going to happen.
That's what
later.
we did with Neil.
Yeah. So that's what we did with mine, because I'm always like I'm wary about everything. And I'm definitely not a guy that wants to pull my goggles apart. That's for sure. But so Free had this giant Lion battery for like long range. And we put that in my goggles. And then also like, it's my habit to unplug my goggles all the time. So we zip tied it together, like zip tied the XT60 and put a little tape around my goggle thing just so that I wouldn't like unplug it, not thinking about it like as a habit.
Yeah.
So, J Rice asked in the chat, like, did this guy work for Fat Shark? I don't know, like that's
No.
Yeah, we got some conspiracy theory.
No. Yeah. Fat Shark didn't have any smart engineers.
Look at that. This is spicy. There we go.
So actually, you mentioned the Ice Storm race. The one that I really feel bad about was while this was being reported, the first reports came from the race in Turkey.
That's
WDC,
true.
Which was honestly, these guys were hit hard, and I wish we could have done more for them.
Yeah.
But this was all unraveling, while they were kind of blocked there. So I know it had a pretty serious impact on that race.
Yeah,
that's not good.
That's for sure. I guess we had the luxury of being just later in the world time zone or wherever, where it had already begun while we were still sleeping, and you guys had already started working on it and known about it by the time that we woke up for Ice Storm. And like,
that was those like 5 to 8 hours time difference, which actually gave us a little bit of time to come up with the first fix.
Yeah, so it's helping us now. It's keeping you guys up late tonight for this, but for that race, it helped us out a whole bunch.
Yeah. Do you guys like how do you feel? Like, do you feel guilty for that, or you feel angry on that guy? Like, what are your feelings? You know what I mean?
Oh,
well,
I'm disappointed. I'm
exactly
disappointed that this guy who we considered a friend, who had been attending his previous colleagues' weddings, who was having dinner with them a couple of weeks before. I'm just disappointed in a human being that can have this plan to destroy his previous company with these friends and colleagues, to go down.
Do you think he might have forgotten about it?
Well, I was thinking about this. Like, if I would do something and like leave it for like 2 and more than 2 years, I would probably forgot about it. but I don't know. I mean, he could have been just waiting for it to happen. I don't know what was
Yeah.
going on in his head.
Yeah.
And
But
so,
yeah,
so
I mean, that was the discussion in the comment. Like, could it be like he did it at some point and totally forgot about it, and like he's feeling like bad about it. But no, like the same day he came back to us with like he requested the money.
Mr.
Okay,
Lucky,
yeah,
Mr.
so-
Lucky says, "Fuck that guy" in the chat. You know,
Yeah,
Lucky,
yeah, see,
Lucky got Orqa
that's-
socks lately. That's why he's Orqa
Yeah.
fan now. He's an official Orqa fan now with Orqa socks.
Yeah, that's right.
Are they
So,
nice
yeah,
and
I
warm?
got
you know,
Orqa
we
underwear
didn't
then.
say that. We didn't say that, but we can't control the chat, right? So just the
Yeah.
chat says, "Fuck that guy." I'm just reporting on what
Yeah,
the chat
whatever happened in the
says.
chat.
That's
Yeah.
all.
So,
all.
do like because I'm not sure if you saw, but like one of the like big YouTubers outside of FPV, I forgot his name. I never watched him before, but he made like
Yeah.
a review about the situation, and he basically said like, you know, that guy is bad, but also Orqa is bad. I don't trust Orqa
Yeah.
anymore. Like, what would you like to say? Like what would you answer? You know, like, do you have anything to answer? To that, like to people thinking
I've
they're
got
not
an
gonna-
answer.
All right, Mr.
Yeah.
Tony, get the answer.
So I've got an answer. I'm fairly new to this company, and I've got to say I saw a bunch of very talented individuals step up to the plate, give up their long weekend with their families, and get in there and find a solution for this. And because of all this, the total number of goggles that had to be returned to for service, and trust me, we were ready to set up a program to bring all of them back, thousands of them. Were 6 units.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I
6.
think, you know, presented with a situation like this, I'm pretty proud of this team and how they came together to do this. And the end result was, you know, somebody is in some serious legal trouble.
As they should be.
And I think we supported our customers, you know, as best we could, given a really shit situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
like I
I mean,
really appreciate that too. Like because I'm Orqa users. You see, I got Orqa right here on me. I'm still using. You see, right here, right now, I'm using Orqa. So, yeah, appreciate all your support, all what you did. I think that was pretty cool. And yeah, I saw some guys were like frustrated in Facebook that they couldn't fix their
Oh,
goggles.
I would be frustrated. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but
I would be.
but I think
would
that's
be.
like only like a few guys out of I don't know how many goggles you sold. So of course there will be some people that cannot do the fix for some reason. Maybe they did something wrong. So I understand that, and I guess that's like the 6 goggles you got to fix, right? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I think it's pretty well handled. And
I mean,
yeah, I don't-
we as Tony mentioned, like we already had like everything like sketched out on a whiteboard. Like, how are we gonna organize all that logistics of pulling in that huge amount of goggles from all over the world? So like, who's doing what? How many goggles per day can we fix? Everything was already like planned, and we were ready to start shipping thousands of goggles. But yeah,
Yeah.
it turned out that like almost everybody managed to do it by himself,
Awesome.
and we
Nice.
only had to
Yeah.
pull in.
Did
6
you
goggles.
pay extra for the developers that showed up on the weekend? Because I'm a developer and I
they-
always care about money too.
Yeah, of course, we gave him a nice bonus for that.
Nice,
Nice.
nice. Did Tony
well,
get that
like,
bonus?
No, he's
never
not.
get
He's
a
not.
bonus.
He's not a developer.
He was drunk
Yeah,
or something.
So-
Tony is a bugger.
A plunker.
So we got
We learned to do work.
we got 51 people watching right now, and I think we like kind of finalized this topic about Orqa Bricking. Like I think you guys
Yeah.
covered everything, right? So
Well,
if-
I just want to ring in from the chat though. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of support from the chat though. It's like a
That's-
lot of guys saying though. It's like
Yeah.
100% respect to Tony and Vlatko from my boy Philiblaster there. Omar Gerd says, I can see how people will have been frustrated from this happening, but the turnaround on a resolution was brilliant and reassuring that a brand will do right by its customers. I agree 100% right
Awesome.
there. I always
Thank you,
always
guys.
like
Thank you
to
guys
get
for
some-
this support. It means it means like everything. Like
Oh yeah.
that's really. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's just really cool. I always say in business, like just shit's gonna happen, and you really can't stop shit from happening. but it's how you deal with it and how you carry going forward, and that's really what matters. And I think you really guys handled that. That's my opinion, but I also see it here in the chat, and really appreciate you guys coming to share that story with us for sure.
Yeah, and I want to say that, like, when I watched the video of that famous YouTuber with whatever, like, million subscribers, like, I was a little bit frustrated because a lot of people, you know, listen to what he says, but he didn't know the story. He didn't know what the hell happened, but he had an opinion. Like, that's kind of a shitty move to do. I just said shit. So
yeah, this guy is not actually in any kind of FPV or drones or anything. He's like in general
like electronics,
technology.
like
Yeah,
electronics.
so I guess he's I never saw any of his videos before that. So but I guess he's probably reviewing the products from big companies like major like multinationals.
Yeah.
And I guess if something like that would happen to some huge company, that would probably be I mean, I don't think he realizes how small of a company we are, and how tiny our community is. And I don't know. I mean, he really hit us hard, especially because he's got so I don't know, but he's got huge following on his channel. So yeah, that did hit us for sure.
Yeah, that sucks. That
Hey,
sucks.
he got his views. That's all.
Yeah,
that
he
matters.
did.
Yeah, he got his clicks, right? Damn, I need all his clicks though. What the heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, guys, if you have some like other questions in the chat, leave them here. Hopefully we're not gonna miss them about this particular topic, but we're probably gonna move on, right? So we're done with the Orqa. We got a whole lot like questions to Orqa that we collected from different sources, like from Houston Discord, from my Patreon, from Facebook, and like we got a lot of questions, and I see already these questions in the chat, so we're gonna move straight to that. So Orqa HD, what's up? Question mark.
You want to go with this, Tony? What? Sorry,
Thanks, man.
You want to do it? You want to do it?
Right there.
Or should I?
Yeah,
whatever.
All right, Vladka or Tony or Vladka? Tony or Vladka? Vladka or Tony?
I don't mind taking a stab at it.
All right.
Okay, so it's a complicated beast. So as we kind of announced a little bit too early, we were working on, actually we still are working on not one digital system, but several for different markets. We for the V2 goggles, we integrated a digital input in the front, ready for expansion to whatever manufacturer wanted to support it. So this, I think we're the only set of goggles with this kind of dedicated digital input. We tried to get support from both HDZero and WalkSnail. And
DJI too, you know, DJI as well.
Yeah, and DJI to get a receiver compatible with the goggles. So this was the original plan. Unfortunately, none of those efforts bore any fruits. But hey, the port is there. If anyone wants to use that at any point, it's
open source
standard. It's it's open source. It's not closed in any way, and we would be absolutely delighted to support any other HD system through there.
But sorry, Tony. All right, yeah, go ahead. I'll ask later. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, second part of this is, we've just come through this pretty horrendous couple of year component shortage, mainly for integrated circuits, and some of the parts that we'd used for this digital system just weren't available anymore. And in fact, one of them was obsoleted by the supplier, during development, during this chip shortage. So we were left in a pretty uncomfortable position. And then, of course, there's, the market moves on. I mean, HDZero came up with, 90 hertz, which, of course, all the racers have got to have 90 hertz. So that made things difficult. DJI came out with the O3, which is, a beautiful system. So the bar was kind of moved. So are we still working on it? Yep. We're working on one of the systems I'm very excited about, but I'm not going to say anything about it.
All right. So, like, can I ask, like, you know, you don't have to ask, but I will ask, is it the system that works with the cellular network that you can fly like far?
One of them is, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be like one of your systems? Is it gonna be for racers and freestylers, or it will be all enterprise? What do you think?
Don't know. Anything is possible at this point.
And like, do you have any like time limits, like deadlines when you're gonna know? All right.
But can I ask a question? Can I ask a question here? So right now we have like 3 really good digital systems out there. Like we have DJI, which is beautiful, works beautifully. Not particularly for the racers, but for everybody else, it's really, really nice. Then we have Walksnail, which is somewhere in between DJI and HDZero, which is also a nice system. It works. And you have HDZero, which is racing oriented, and everybody likes it. It works okay. Yeah. So my question here is, do we really need a 4th system on the market right now? Who would buy it? I mean, for whom would that system be?
And what would how would it be focused? You know, what could it do better than any other system that's out there?
So I think like I was kind of excited, like when Orqa released, I think it was like 2 years ago or 1 year ago when you first time showed your HD system units. I was actually the most excited about this system that works with a cellular network. Because also now like remote ID comes in, and I think I might understand it wrong, but I think like remote ID opens the opportunity to fly beyond line of sight officially, you know, and then it means if you have that and you have your system which works with a SIM card or however it works, you can fly like freaking in the mountains and like behind the mountains and or you know whatever. So
wherever the network infrastructure exists.
Of course. But you probably would have like a bar in the middle of the corner, like showing the signal quality or something, right? So you can like sort of see in advance that you're out of range of the tower. So
I have a personal dream on this system, and it comes from some of the very, very early FPV videos that were published. And it wasn't FPV with quads; it was FPV with trucks. And it was a bunch of guys, like I can't remember who it was, but they were sat in their living room with like several screens and some like 1.3 gig links. And they were, at night, they were driving through the forest, you know, helping each other cross rivers. And it was just this amazing adventure enabled by this kind of long range FPV tech. And I think, you know, FPV kind of has its roots in kind of a rebel kind of territory. And just imagine racing down city streets with RC cars, with
around the corners and everything.
Links.
That too. That and like dope. Also imagine you like someone like on the other side of the country hosting like global qualifier. I don't know, and you just ship them your drone. And then you fly from home, right?
Rent one on site. You could rent one on site, right?
Just rent one.
Yeah, or rent one on site. Sure. So you're sitting home in the air conditioning and taking part in the global qualifier. I don't know, like that. Like we don't know, like we don't have this system in the market that allows that. Well, so if you make it happen, I think it's going to be interesting.
Imagine being able to rent time on a 4x4 RC 4x4 in a safari park. And you know, spend time exploring somewhere on the other side of the planet. I mean, I think the potential of this kind of system is quite mind blowing.
So
that's awesome.
But we gotta understand one thing, that like when we showcased this first module a couple of years ago, at that moment the network infrastructure was not ready for this kind of
but it was developing, and so you knew it's going to go up, right?
Exactly. So right now we are getting to the point where the infrastructure is getting closer to be capable for this kind of the application, and I'm really looking forward to do this first crazy demo soon.
Or like
yeah, that'll
it's
be
like
awesome.
soon is like 2 years or like 2 weeks or I don't know. Like
Well, 2 weeks can mean so many things. So you guys are
yeah,
probably
that's
safe
true.
just saying 2 weeks. Like then you're
Yeah.
good.
Well, the hardware is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The hardware is
so,
done. Like now, is it done or is it just in your laptop on your?
You mean like
'Cause
you mean like
No, it's
done burned?
physical.
Oh,
in
you
your
can
hand.
hold it. Okay. Oh, wow. That
Yeah.
sounds like real.
so you
shit.
don't like
Okay.
you cannot even say like is it like 5 years or 1 year like or just something. Give us
Less
something that we can play for you
it's,
later.
it's less than 100 years for sure.
All right.
Okay. Solid.
So do you guys?
Let's just
Tony.
let's just say that it's being deployed for one market kind of immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the stuff that we're doing now, this tech developed for one well-paying market will trickle down to the consumer space.
Nice.
Which is,
Beautifully
quite
said.
exciting.
Yeah.
Beautifully
Vladka
said.
is very like that. Like likes it a lot. What Tony said.
That's where Velcro came from.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
yeah, so I wanted to ask, and I think it was one of our questions also. Like we're gonna keep talking about Orqa HD a little bit, but since you talk about so Orqa, like, well, you're a company, of course, you getting money from somewhere. Like, are you getting money from FPV or are you getting money from your enterprise clients? Like, what's your like share?
I mean, it's both, but I mean, it's clear that FPV just by itself wouldn't keep the lights up, because as I said, we are now like around a little bit more than 60 people company, and like as we all everybody knows, like FPV is a niche and it's really tiny market, and the customers are very price sensitive for any product here. Of course, I was.
They whine a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, the other markets actually keep the lights up and running, and basically, as Tony, how did you put it, Tony? It trickles down to FPV. Yeah, that's beautiful.
So why you still keep doing FPV?
Because we
it's
love
in
it.
our blood.
That is your blood.
I mean,
like that.
I mean, Orqa actually started with crazy idea of let's make the FPV goggles better and cheaper. That was our idea. I mean, when we started, we were so unexperienced. We took apart Fat Sharks and like said, let's see how can we do it better and cheaper. Soon enough, we realized we can probably do it better, but not that much cheaper. That's what we learned in the process.
That's a
But
lot.
yeah, I mean,
most of the time.
The thing is that this company actually started as like pure FPV company doing goggles, and we really like this. And I mean, you saw us guys. We attend the events. We love this. We love hanging out with FPV community and so on. So I mean, although in many cases, if you would just listen to your brain and pure math, it wouldn't make sense to be around this. But yeah, we really like this, and we're staying.
This is
Nice.
awesome. This is very awesome, right? Look at Neil. Neil is so happy to hear that.
I am, yeah. I really have had the pleasure of like hanging out with you guys a few times now, like a couple of IOs in Vegas a few times, and like just I feel like
Costa Rica.
Yeah, Costa Rica. We had a damn good time.
Yeah,
in
that's
Costa
what.
Rica.
That was a blast. That's for sure.
Yeah, like swimming up to the bar together. So like I've just had some good times with you guys, and like I just think it's you guys are cool people that I've enjoyed to hang out with. But then so like that's one thing. But then I also think it's cool that just y'all are here representing like a major company in FPV and just being a part of the event. And like I've met a lot of people in FPV, but I've not met a lot of like executive level people at other companies.
Yeah, it's always awesome to see you guys when you come to
Right.
events. Like that makes them, a little bit more special. That's
Yeah.
very cool. So we got a lot of. I hear this question already in the chat like 3 times, and we have it actually in the list. What do you think, guys, about HDZero? Because this is open source now, and like with all your brains and 60 people, you can create your own HDZero goggles or something like this. Do you think it makes sense for you?
Well, actually, we are talking intensively. Is that the right word?
I think it is.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds right.
With Carl and trying to get that receiver ready. So I'm hoping to see that happen. Really, I mean, we were trying to talk to anyone, as Tony said earlier, but nothing happened. But right now, I have some kind of good feelings that the things have started to move on, and I'm looking forward to this.
So
yeah, because that's another thing
we have
that's going to make.
Yeah, Tony.
Go ahead. Sorry.
We have some results here already. I don't know whether this is common knowledge yet, but the HDzero Race V3 supports now the Tramp protocol. So
Nice.
finally, you can use the Ghost channel changing from the OLED and actually control the HDzero.
Nice.
So,
That's a big step. Yeah, I
so
think
we will be pushing a new software release, a new firmware release to support that, because we sped up the Tramp protocol to do this quite significantly. So team racing, we should lower downtime and everything.
Yeah, this is
love to
awesome.
hear that. Yeah, I guess and what about like my ultimate thing, because I'm a huge fan of the hybrid board. Like it's on every one of my builds, and I just love how simple it is. And I'd love to see an HDZero hybrid board. That would be sick. Like that would be my ultimate wish list if I can make a wish list out of all this, because aside from Carl sending me my goggles, which still needs to happen.
Yeah, Carl.
HDZero hybrid board would really make me jump on board for sure.
Tony, is now the time. Is now the time to send him a file?
Yeah, we actually decided to slice this cat a little differently, and I think Vladko might have a little gift for you, Limon.
All right,
Yeah,
I like gifts.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sending you 2 screenshots.
All right. Yeah, in Discord. Ooh.
Yes.
Spicy. Look at that.
Oh, this is.
You can also share it with community. Did you get it?
You're sending in Discord? Oh, no.
Yeah.
In Discord, no. Oh yeah, I'm looking at to my personal message.
Did you get it? Yes. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Nope.
Nothing. Nothing here. I think it's
so
secret.
Wait.
It's so secret. It's driving me crazy.
It's not. So let me try to send.
Maybe
where did
Facebook.
I send it?
Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You just said shit.
Right. Oh.
We got a lot of shits. I can't even.
No.
We're not even counting shits anymore. We're only on. I can't say what the other count is, but I think we're at 3 or maybe 4 F counts. So
All right.
that's only.
Oh
That's
no,
only
he said she.
Oh yeah.
That goes right. That can be used.
I guess.
Can we use that?
We can use anything, but I think
Man, I'm
What
struggling
happened to
with
my
it.
camera again?
Mr. Neil is just sometimes.
I
getting-
don't understand.
Okay.
That was happening at IO as well. Every time I looked at Neil, he was getting more blurry.
Right, yeah, I mean, but like, the question is like, was that only happening for you, or was it happening for everybody?
I don't know. IO's a bit of a blur.
So,
All right,
That happens.
Vladka,
All right, come on, check. Yeah,
I didn't
check out
really
your
find
messenger.
Messenger.
much stuff like blurry at IO, but I did find stuff wiggly a few times. I don't know.
All right, let's
Did you get
see.
it?
Yeah, I did
Did you
get
get
it, and I'm gonna share my
All
monitor.
right.
Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
That is exactly the thing that you dreamed of.
Oh, no way.
No, I see this is a flight controller, right?
Wait,
Because there's DFU
we need
button.
the other side.
We need the other side.
There's another, yeah, that
There you
one.
Whoa. All right,
Okay, this
tell me
is
what I'm
something
looking
that
at.
Tony worked on for nights, right, Tony?
Well, this was one of our guys who's one of our very, very capable hardware developers.
Oh yeah, but okay. So
So what are we looking
So
at?
yeah,
here?
we're like tell us, because I'm looking at it like, what the heck is that? All right.
Okay, so Limon, last week you asked us for
that was 2
an
weeks. 2 weeks ago.
F722
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
1 week to recover from IO. But you asked us for a flight controller with two Duo Ghost
Yeah.
2020 ready to
Awesome.
plug straight into your HDZero transmitter.
Oh yeah. So this is
And
diversity
we
Ghost receiver.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we liked your idea. As soon as we
Oh.
got back from IO, we kicked it off. It's done. It's going for fabrication now. And it'll
Nice.
certainly be available by Champs, if not before.
So this is a F722 flight controller with a
Exactly.
Ghost Duo on board.
Right.
With-
Yes.
With what kind of gyro?
MPU
Oh,
6000.
the only
The
gyro.
only gyro. I was just only
Yeah.
asking that because I just needed to hear it. Everybody needed to hear it that we got the MPU
But-
6000.
And
on
so
board.
basically it means that Mr. Neil, you like idea of hybrid board with HDZero, but with this flight controller, you don't need it because it will be even less wires, because it's a receiver on the flight controller, and then instead of hybrid board, you mount this HDZero V3 VTX. You connect
That'll
it
do.
with I guess
Yep.
like will be like 4 or 5 wires. One will be Ghost
Yep.
telemetry protocol. 2 wires will be TX-RX, right, for OSD in HDZero, and then 2 power wires. And then you don't need to connect your
Yep.
camera because HDZero doesn't need camera connection. The Ghost cameras go straight to VTX, and basically that's it. And yeah,
This guy knows all.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I'm really happy to see this because, just some little part. You said it was only Limon's idea and he was pushing for it, but I was there for it too. And I'm just going to claim that I had some small amount to do with the development of this board. I saw you move things around on your laptop after we said words.
Neil
So,
worked
yeah.
hard on this too. Like, look at that.
I
Yeah.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my first time I
Okay.
ever helped develop a board,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and I like it. Yeah, I like it.
Okay,
for sure.
I'm
And
sending
there's 2 of them.
I'm sending you another 2 screenshots. You can
All
also
right.
share that.
Okay,
We can
there's
talk
more,
about
there's
this
more.
a little
Let's
bit
see.
more. Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, and the other side too. So yeah, this one's analog.
Yeah. So what is that? Can you say what is that?
So
There's this
so this is a 2020
F722.
analog FC with
With what?
with same size, same form factor,
Same processor.
connector for the camera, tired of soldering.
Okay, but then does this also have an analog VTX on board? Is that what the difference is? It's like a
No,
full
this
hybrid?
this one couples with a hybrid. So for
Okay.
analog,
Yeah.
you get a hybrid 2020 with this board, and
Yep.
then for digital, you get the hybrid, the 722 Duo, Ghost Duo with a HDZero board.
So basically,
two-stack.
this is VTX this is flight controller is normal flight controller for analog,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Exactly.
So and then it just goes with a hybrid board. Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So this is for me and Neil until we switch to HDZero. If we switch to HDZero.
Right. Well, we know what needs to happen. Just Carl.
Well, Carl, just look at this. Look how cute. Look how cute Neil is. You
need this cute face wearing your goggles.
And if by the way, if you don't agree he's cute, you're gonna have problems with his wife.
Sometimes, right? Like
Yeah.
just for the right amount of time. Because in all honesty, I look the cutest with Orqa goggles on, and I really don't want to change that. But I need to be able to choose for when the time calls for it.
Like honestly, I am very excited
So-
about these because this is the one
Yeah.
with the diversity receiver. I think it will be the first flight controller ever with diversity receiver on it. And I think this is very cool. And I like diversity receiver. Not like you need diversity for Ghost, but I like diversity for simplicity because you can have shitty antennas because you're a shit pilot and I'm shit pilot. You can run shitty antennas. You can even knock off one antenna accidentally and you're still good.
Yeah.
And you don't have to put this. If you want to fly long range, you just put this antenna on the arms and then you can fly very, very far. And if you don't need long range, you can just shove the antennas inside of your canopy or under carbon, whatever, and you're good for racing. you still like in the close range, you're not gonna lose any packets too, because it's also like two antennas. I like it a lot. Man, I'm so glad. And so you said the champs is in 2 months, I think, right, Neil?
Champs, wow, it's in October some point. So 3 months, I guess.
3 months.
Yeah.
It'll be long before then. But
Wow,
one thing
long
I should
before
say
then.
is we have teased these flight controllers before, and I'll be honest, we were scrambling like everyone else during the chip shortage to get processors to build these things, and we at one point.
Whoa.
Tony disappeared.
Tony,
Your
breaking up.
Your thing just turned red.
I think it
your
was
microphone?
I think it was always red. No.
Was it? No. But
Yeah.
he's
No
quiet.
audio, Tony. We lost your
hell.
audio.
Yeah, maybe Tony needs
But
to
like,
reboot or
yeah,
something.
but hang on. Was it red before? Just make it go dark and red again, Tony.
It was red, Neil.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like it.
Yeah, red means it's
turned-
like working. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he was about
But
to say
no
very.
audio.
I think he was about to say very secret stuff.
Yeah, he was, and they got shut down.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So while Tony trying to figure out what's with microphone,
Yeah.
Mr. Vladka. So you say it's like less than 3 months.
Yeah. No. I can actually tell what Tony was about to say.
All right.
So we actually had had FCs ready like months earlier, and we used the only microprocessor that we could find at that time on the market, which was H750. And unfortunately, the Betaflight didn't have the support for the black box for that chip. And Ivan, I reached out to you, and the guys tried to fix the black box issue. Unfortunately, that never happened, and we just stopped. We can hear you, Tony. You're back.
Yeah, Tony, can you please create a link for me again so that I can add you back to live stream? Sorry, guys, for the troubles. We got 60 viewers now, concurrent viewers. Everyone is so interested in this flight controllers. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna show the picture.
Tony's audio is the best. It sounds by far the best.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it because of his voice or is it just the microphone?
He has a pretty suave voice. I feel like
suave voice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see. Adding Tony. Tony.
Oh, there he
something.
is. There he is. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah.
And loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So, well,
Tony,
hold on.
You can.
Because I don't hear Tony. I don't hear Tony. It means he probably didn't select correct microphone.
Oh, okay. You got to do it in Discord too.
But I can hear him.
Yeah, well, because you hear him through the Discord, and I hear him through this weird application. So probably that.
But you are not important. We are.
Well, if I don't hear, then nobody hears Tony. Does. I mean, Tony's face is just enough. Look at his face. He's so
just read his lips the whole time.
Yeah.
Everybody in the chat can do that, right, guys?
I remember what was that like? Shannon gave me a pilot name for one day. Pretty Lips FPV.
Oh,
do you remember that?
No. Yeah,
Ooh.
That's very fitting.
Yeah, it is.
It's very fitting.
Is it okay now?
Like, let us know in the chat if at any point you hear Tony.
Well, I will be able to hear Tony at the same time.
Because Vladko and I can. Oh, but Yvonne will need. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. So
let's see. Let me check in on the chat though. Let's see. We got some talk about ELRS, like ELRS versus Ghost. I think really, and it was like an ask about like, well, why would this board not be ELRS? It's like, well, it's like Orqa and Emergent RC are partnered, and they're making this board together, and Emergent RC makes Ghost, so it makes sense that they would make this Ghost flight controller. And I'm pretty fired up about it. It's sort of like there's already like that pancake board already exists. It's a single, right? But that's a similar product available for ELRS users. But this will be the first diversity receiver on a flight controller, as Yvonne said. I'm pretty excited about that. It's pretty cool. Oh, so I
still not working.
Yvonne, did you just
Tony,
hear that?
Tony's back.
It's working.
Awesome.
Okay,
Is it
we
working?
got him.
Yeah, and
so okay.
Like actually, I wanted to mention two other guys. It was James from Texas and also Johnny 5. They were like in our Houston Discord like every day, like talking about like when Ghost gonna release this flight controller, when is gonna
I actually thought we will have John with us today, but
yeah, but like then Tony is like, no Johnny 5, only me. So yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
I love 25.
4 works fine, but where would we put Johnny Square, right? Like that.
Yeah,
that's,
it'd be awesome
we
to
gotta
have
really
him.
figure out
That's
to do
for
5.
sure. Yeah. So
We need Johnny back though.
Yeah, we
So-
need. So as far as I said, no plans for a hybrid board with HDZero because well, you don't need it if you have this flight controller. This is correct, right? And so also you don't have any plans for HDZero
we believe
goggles.
so.
Yeah.
what do you mean HDZero goggles? You
Like-
mean the goggles with built-in receiver?
So that like Orqa as a company makes Orqa goggles with built-in HDZero receiver. Like, do you have
Okay.
that?
So
that'd be cool, like,
built-in
fire on one side.
receiver is something that we totally don't like. Like we were always about giving people choice. Like if you have a built-in receiver, you're stuck with that. We were always like trying to have goggles with either the receiver bay or some other way of connecting some receiver to the goggles. So like what we actually provided, what Tony said earlier, we have that front-mounted front connector, which is connected directly to the screens. So, and as I said, this thing is open source. We reached out to all of the digital systems manufacturers. We offered them the possibility to do the receivers for our goggles. Until now, there was no luck with that. So I personally wouldn't like to have the goggles with built-in receiver because as soon as the technology moves forward, I would have to throw my goggles away because the receiver is not up to date anymore. I mean that makes no sense.
Yeah, and so what about these goggles? Because you say about the port. Let me bring my screen. So they have this port at the top, and like, does this port, for example, if HDZero makes a receiver, for these goggles, will it be like 60 frame per second? Sorry,
Exactly.
90 frame per second too?
No, it'll be 60 for now.
All right.
Because the screen switch are in these goggles are 60 FPS.
Yeah. Well, that might be a deal breaker for some people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe-
I'll be very honest with you. This is one of the reasons why we haven't pushed too hard in that area, because this is all part of this technology evolving.
Yeah. So
And
like
90 hertz, which is not a thing when these
Yeah.
goggles were designed.
That's true.
yeah.
Well, so like then you guys like just will be able to come out with the 120 hertz version, right? Like,
Yeah.
and then just hold off
course.
until we see that. Like that's so. I
Of
think to
course.
answer your question, I saw a couple like we kind of glossed over it. I thought it was a really good question. The Vodko asked, "Is there room for a 4th HD system?" And I kind of think like if it's gonna be another similar to what we already have, maybe there's not really room for it. It doesn't really make sense for you guys to put.
But you can
like money.
you
into
can
it.
already see that right now. You have like
Oh, now we're losing Vladko. Or
Yeah.
Am
We
I just
lost.
frozen?
Yeah, we lost Vladka.
oh, geez.
Vladka
Well,
is
hell.
disconnected.
Uh-oh.
There's like wonders of the internet. We're talking to you guys from halfway across the globe, but I feel like well, who knows? But
Well,
I
we
do
had
think-
a humongous storm tonight, so I'm amazed that
Oh.
anything's working, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's right. You said hail, right? Ice.
No,
balls.
ice balls.
Ice
You
balls.
said ice balls, and then I had to figure out that it was hail that you were talking about. Yeah.
I guess you also don't hear Vladko through the Discord, don't you? Right?
no,
No.
I
Alright,
don't hear anything.
yeah. Let's see.
So I think maybe
Hopefully,
he's just gone
hopefully
for
he will be back. But honestly, like the next question is mainly to Mr. Tony, and this question is about Laptimer. Like,
Okay.
when that gonna happen, Mr. Tony?
We've cranked things up. We had a few issues. We had some priority issues. We managed to saturate our production line. I'm not sure many people know, but all of our gear is basically produced in the EU instead of China.
Vladko's back.
And when you're in China, if you saturate one stuffing house, you just go find your
Hello,
backup.
hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
And,
All
Yeah.
right. Sorry, something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
No worries.
So
Got it.
we managed to completely saturate our production line, and the Laptimer was the one that got delayed a bit, but we are, you know, actively working on it. Those again, we'll definitely have those by champs. I did hear
Nice.
some little screams from MultiGP that their trusty boxes were,
Well, we hear
you
a
guys-
lot of promises
these-
today from you guys before champs. The
Yeah,
flight
yeah.
controllers, like-
The Laptimers are in production. I can guarantee
Nice.
you that.
Yeah.
But also,
Oh,
I
nice.
think
Yeah.
it's very cool
Did-
that like you're probably not gonna get a lot of money by selling them because the market FPV is small, but the market of chapter organizers even smaller. So I really appreciate that you are like still doing that. You know what I mean? This is I think this is very cool.
Yeah, it's
Did,
something.
did
we
you,
definitely need.
Tony? Did you tell about some new things for the Laptimer?
Oh yeah, what's that?
Oh,
Ooh.
which ones?
I
Like
don't know.
the POE,
Whatever you
like
wanna
the.
say.
Everything. Tell us everything. Come on,
Yeah,
guys.
we did change a few things. Well, actually, this was another case of listening to the community. So when I tease this a lot of feedback, people wanted PoE, so we implemented PoE, and people wanted this waterproof. I can't remember what it's called. This waterproof RJ45
Yeah.
on the box instead of these cables running through these problematic cable glands. So we did that. We've improved cooling. So now the tunnel that runs underneath it with kind of the heatsink fins runs all the way through it. So you actually get some airflow through it. So yeah, well, things like that.
GPS.
Oh yeah.
GPS? What the heck?
So
is
yeah,
it?
What's
Yeah.
GPS?
That's
Well,
new.
if you want to do split times,
Okay.
you really need to know the exact time at each gate. So we haven't figured out yet exactly, because the GPS adds a fair amount of cost to it. So we haven't figured out exactly how we're going to do this, but
I think Tony is losing internet a
GPS on
little
board.
bit. Yeah. Now he's
Okay.
back.
Uh-oh.
It's just like
Hey.
again, that's like the Matrix is trying to stop all the good juicy secrets from coming
Yeah,
out. Like
but I
anytime
think-
we say something really juicy, we get bogged down.
Yeah, I think we got the main parts, that's for sure. Yeah. So is it
Yeah,
gonna
so,
like?
Yeah.
I have a question about the Laptimer. Is like, do you guys planning to have like a USB port to be like able to update the firmware on it? Because besides Lifetime, there are other open source FPV systems that need, for example, like a constant signal for every channel coming into PC, and then PC decides when the quad is crossing the line. You know, and now for the
Yeah.
current timing system is not possible.
So the current timing system actually does this. This is why it's got an SD card on board. And we use this in development. We basically went to a few races all the way back in the early days, and we collected an awful lot of data, and then we went and post-processed it to develop the algorithms. So I have promised some of the guys working on timing systems that we will give them this raw data.
Awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be excited about that because they have some
Nice.
cool features. Like Lifetime is pretty good, but it missing a few features these days that, yeah.
Yeah.
This is good news. I saw
So the
a que-
ability to
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the ability to go back and process data after a race is kind of cool.
Yeah. We have a question in the chat, and we wanted to talk about that a little bit too, like about the goggles that leaked at I/O, and I think they also leaked a little bit before that. Like, I think Vladka is the guy to talk a little bit about them, and he blames Tony that Tony didn't bring these goggles for the live stream, and like,
No, we
The
blame
ones we
you
left
because.
in the bar.
Oh yeah, these are forgotten.
yeah. So, what are
What
these
bar?
goggles, and like, what are they
Alright.
targeting?
So these goggles are, we call them like FPV Pro, like that's the name that we use for now. I don't know if it's going to be used once they're released. So these goggles are a bit more ruggedized version of pilot goggles. They have built-in rapid fire inside, so without a screen and a joystick, you can access all of the rapid fire settings through the goggles menu. Also, the goggles, and of course, there are two built-in antennas inside, plus two SMA connectors for external antennas. The goggles also feature a nice DVR, that we already know, and very cool breakout box. We call it a breakout box. Basically, it's a box which you can clip around your belt, and this box also holds the goggle battery, plus all of the connectors, inputs, outputs, HDMI, analog audio, video. Also XT60, so you can plug in any other battery. These goggles are up to 6S capable, and from this breakout box to the goggles, there goes a single cable, which brings the power, the video, everything goes through that cable. So
Like
it's
HDMI.
basically, yes,
yeah.
exactly. So you can basically use any video source, whether it's some kind of a digital receiver or whatever. You plug it in through HDMI through this breakout box, and it all goes through that single cable to the goggles. The goggles are made so there is another cool design feature. So all of the buttons that are usually on the top of the goggles now are moved. There is like much simplified version of the navigation on the bottom. So you basically navigate through all the menus just with your thumb. And so it makes the goggles much more waterproof from the top side. So if there is any rain or something like that, they should be okay. They have like overmolded rubberized parts, which make them more rugged for kind of let's call it more professional use. They are basically we didn't aim this at the general FPV hobbyist market. These are more for the enterprise markets like firefighters, police, forestry, even defense.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, these are. I mean, I mean, you could use them probably for even for racing or freestyle flying, but yeah, these are not basically. That's not our target. With these
I want to use them because I had I hold them in my hands at IO. I put them on my eyes. They feel pretty nice. I'd be down to use them. And there's like the same optics as Orqa V2,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
by the way, we missed a super chat from Johnny5, famous YouTube star with 11,000 subscribers. He says, happy hours with Tony and Vladka are one of the best parts of FPV. So he says you are parts of FPV.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, never had a beer with anyone at DJI. Just saying. It says Mr. Johnny5. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, but we had to make up for all of that beer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of makeup work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny5. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
You know what, Tony? We really need to go to visit these guys in Houston. Like
for sure, yeah.
Been all around the US, but never went to Houston.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, look at Neil. Like you don't want to see him close. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Vlatko, can we rent an RV to do this? I know you love the RV at IO, so.
No, I'm gonna sleep at Ivan's place or.
You good?
Wherever.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just not in the RV, please.
Because Tony snores or what?
You even had the fancy bed in the front too, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had
suite.
Exactly.
I had to because these guys are just too dirty. There was no place to sit in the RV because they put all their shit all over the place. Like not a single centimeter available to sit to put your stuff. Like it was all cramped. So no, I'm not gonna go with Tony in the RV anymore.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I mean, I did this. I had this like last year, and I said no more. And then Tony said, "Yeah, but we have to do it again." And I said, "Okay." And now I'm saying, "No more again."
No more again. All right. Well,
I got more work to do for next year.
Yeah, I kind of have like a strict 2-person limit. Yvonne and I always share an RV, and like, the RVs say they sleep more people than that, and like more people would fit, but it's really nice when it's just the two of us that like.
You hear, Tony?
Yeah, that there's space for like the space to sit down, right? Like,
we had plenty of beds, but once you start building quads, I mean, we had Liz and we had my son, both
Yeah.
building quads in there, and it got pretty small pretty
Not
fast.
just quads.
I believe
Not
that.
just quads. Spencer was taking apart his Orbis gun, and he was shooting the damn thing inside the RV. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
guys, if Tony ever invites you to go with him in the RV, don't do it.
This is the trap. This is the
Come
trap.
on.
Don't do
just,
it.
like you could do it. Just be sure you know the head count. That's all.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Hey, we
Or-
did
or-
learn
or-
something.
What's that?
We
Or
learned
bring
something
your-
very important.
You got to bring your Orbis gun with you.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
important.
So we did learn something very important. So we're not really used to RVs and how they work. And
Yeah.
somebody came in one day and they looked at these lights and they said, "Oh, your like gray water tank or something was full." And we're like,
Ah.
"What's a gray water tank?"
Yeah.
And then we did the dishes before we left, and everything's fine. All the water's going down the hole, everything's good. And then someone looked in the shower and said, "Why is the dishwater all in the shower?"
Oh.
You mean
Filter.
gray water?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr.
That'll
Cole,
do
by
it.
the
So-
way, in the chat says that he also wants these goggles. So he has
Oh,
the
yeah.
socks now, and then well, you see, you send the guy socks, and then he wants more. Like it never ends, right?
Yeah, yeah, you give a mouse a cookie.
Right.
We'll
My
send him
son's been
Tom.
flying them.
What?
Yeah, my
socks?
son's been flying them for a while. The socks too.
Yeah.
Flying the pros, and he swears by them. So he's
Oh,
that's
nice.
what he's using.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Neil
like,
also has
Yeah.
socks.
like, yeah, I do have socks. I don't have them on though, or I would pick my foot up to show them. I should have put them on. So like, I'm gonna. throw
But
us the
guys,
next-
you need to know something about these socks. These
Okay.
socks make you fly faster. So
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
you gotta have them on while you're racing, because
Yeah.
these socks basically contribute to 10 to 15% of faster laps.
All
Well, I
right.
think
Just,
I think
just
my
so
next
you know,
big
these are
race is,
these are specially formulated socks. These are special FPV racing socks. So
nice.
make sure you have
We're
them on.
having global qualifier this weekend. I'm gonna wear them for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
actually
mean,
I put them on now. I'm never gonna take them off before global qualifier. This is
Oh
the deal.
damn!
A little bit nice.
Oh.
Speeding my time for sure.
Then,
My time.
if you're gonna do it like this, then you can go in the RV with Tony.
Oh wow! My goodness.
Why you hate
All
him
right,
so
well.
much?
No, I love him. I love Tony. No.
Yeah.
Well,
Who-
I'm gonna
who doesn't?
steer us back.
Yeah.
Steer us back to this. Like, we got a question. This came from one of our chats somewhere, and part of what you guys are doing at Orqa, or really one of your your differentiators, is that you're able to manufacture parts outside of China. Like, you guys are in the EU and you're building stuff in the EU. But I guess the question really came up from that is like, but how much of the parts are still from China? One, and two, is it even possible to build a drone with non-Chinese parts? I think that was like the really overarching question.
Yes.
A drone,
Yeah.
or any product. Like,
Well, well, the question was a drone, but it's interesting to say any product, really.
Yeah.
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 But
We're,
Well,
we're,
we-
we're doing an awful lot. I mean, we've just received our first overmolding injection machine, which
Okay.
was delivered a couple of weeks ago. So now we can do all of that stuff in house, which will be good for antennas
But-
or anything.
But I mean, isn't it enough to say like Tony was manufacturing everything in China before? Like all of the immersion RC stuff was manufactured in China before, and right now we manufacture everything here, like everything.
Is it become cheaper
Okay.
for you or more expensive once you moved from China, manufacturing from China?
Cheaper.
Cheaper?
Cheaper by quite a bit.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice. That's unexpected,
And-
actually.
yeah. And
part of
is
it
that,
is
yeah, go ahead. That's, I think
yeah.
you're
Well,
gonna-
part of it is this part of the world is pretty unique, and labor costs and just cost of living in this part of the world is much lower at this point than let's say Shenzhen.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, Shenzhen,
and it's-
Shenzhen became extremely expensive, right?
Yeah. Like engineers here will be about 40% less than equivalent in Shenzhen.
But you're still sourcing the little parts like chips, F7 or whatever, and like MPU 6000. They're still coming from China, right?
No, most of the STMs will come straight from ST. They'll go through one of the big like Arrow or Avnet or one of these
And
guys.
like, where is the STM company?
ST
STM
is
is
French, I think.
All right.
French. I mean, it's European French. Is it French or French Italian? I'm not sure, but it's European.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, we also use like a lot. I mean, MPU 6000 is also not Chinese part. It's what is it, Tony? It's TDK.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now it's TDK. Actually, it was Infineon, and no, not Infineon. It was, what was it? Tony, help me out here. Whatever.
can't
It's
remember.
it's TDK now. So like I would say there is almost no Chinese parts, Chinese chips. I mean,
Oh, you're like
when we
opening
talk,
my eyes now.
Yeah.
but listen, I mean, when we say Chinese parts, of course, I mean there are like tiny parts like resistors, capacitors, all of that passive components, which actually really doesn't matter where they're made in. Like you can buy Japanese or Chinese or Taiwanese parts. It really doesn't matter. We buy whatever is available on the market at a given time. So yeah, I mean we manufacture everything here. We have our own manufacturing capacity. We have our own technicians who put product together. We actually it's super cool. Like we developed our own quality control and production management system. But that's a software which actually monitors every step of the production of a certain product. So whatever happens in the future with the product, any kind of a problem or failure, we can track this back all the way to the supply chain, and we can basically pinpoint the part which is maybe bought in different batch or from different supplier or whatever. So yeah, I mean it's been a long way for us to come from when we first started to assemble goggles to this, where we can easily
Yeah.
manufacture, I would say, almost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question in the chat, can you guys, Tony and Vladko, see the chat? I guess it's maybe a little bit too much for you guys to also follow the chat, because we're trying to roast you here, like ask spicy
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Yeah,
need to
it's
hold
okay.
the, yeah. So sorry, guys. Like, we will for sure, like, we try to go through the chat, but like, yeah, like,
Yeah.
like, you see, I even almost skipped Johnny 5 super chat. So, but we're trying to read the comments as well. So I appreciate and
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But yeah, you guys
on the whole.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, on the China subject, there's one. Obviously, I produced in China for a long time, which went very well. We got the whole Vortex line, rapid fire. I mean, everything was all seated in China. There is one huge advantage now to IRC building in Croatia is Croatia's kind of a little country where most of the population has an amazing mastery of English. Vlatko's one exception. He's still learning.
Yeah, I start
But
totally.
but it is an absolute pleasure working with engineers here, where you don't need to worry about this pretty significant language barrier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
I
been
imagine
really
that's a big help.
really very good.
Nice. So I think I have a last question about Orqa and
That's it.
Immersion RC.
You don't have anything more?
Well,
Yeah,
then you also, because we don't know all the spicy questions to you that we can answer, But so I think this question is kind of a little bit spicy. I want to ask a little bit about, like, what do you think about ExpressLRS? Why Immersion RC is not moving to, like, faster updates rates? Because ExpressLRS now has like 1,000 hertz. We all have our opinions about, does it matter, like, this much of lineage, does it matter or not? Is it make it worse, like less stable link? What especially Tony thinks about that 1,000 hertz? And also the
That's
next
all,
question.
Tony.
Yeah, this is all Tony. And like, just a question to add on that ExpressLRS, because now I heard they're working on their receiver that could be capable of also being a remote ID. And I think that would be very awesome if Immersion and Orqa like make this receiver also happening, because remote ID scares all of us here in America.
Yeah.
So and like it'd
Yeah,
be
I'm
awesome
scared
to
of
have a simple solution. You know, I even ready to give up diversity. You know, if you replace one receiver of the diversity with remote ID, I'd be so happy with that. You know what I mean?
And Yvonne give up diversity? That's wild. So that
That's
means
a
it means
lot.
a lot
Yeah,
to him.
yeah.
Yeah.
So who wanna start? Tony. This is all
I can
questions to
answer
you.
some
Yeah.
of that. Yeah, so the whole 1,000 hertz thing. I mean, where does it stop? You know, I'd love to see a blind test with a Minchan, you know, flying
What?
back to back 500 and 1,000 hertz without
Yeah.
Well,
knowing which is which.
Well, he said he can feel the difference.
Of course,
But he didn't do a blind
unless
test,
it's a blind
so,
test.
yeah.
Yeah. So so Minchan, I officially challenge you, or any top pilot. Let's have a little game here. Let's see. You know, yeah, we can add it. Code's already in there, but you know, blindly following this numbers game isn't really what we're about.
So, but Tony, in order for me to test that, to blind test that, I need to have it on Ghost. You know what I mean? So, Tony disappeared because he said spicy things.
Fuck, Mike. Yeah, again. Tony, do that again. Whatever you did last time.
Yeah, Vladka, what do you think? Why Tony doesn't want to add 1,000 hertz?
No, I mean, because it's stupid. We believe it's stupid, but as he said, code's already there, and I think we will probably release that update with.
Yeah, like because
so,
it can be stupid, but at least you're giving people opportunity, you know, to try it and just decide by themselves if it's stupid or no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Vladka
Yeah.
said,
So
yeah.
Jordal in the chat says he thinks the big draw of 1,000 hertz is that you can do 500 hertz times 2, like diversity transmission.
Yeah.
Like again, I don't understand.
Is this
it
mic
enough
working
to
again?
know-
Yeah,
oh,
it's
we're
working.
back.
It is
Tony's
working.
back.
You're back.
He's
Okay.
back. Yeah. Doug
Yep.
says you got censored.
You probably.
Okay, Tony. I told him.
I think Tony
you're not
disappeared
working
again.
What?
No,
the
come
shit.
on. I can see the bar
Oh,
moving.
all right, now,
I
yeah.
know it's
No,
working.
it's good. It's good. There's just a lag.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
No, I mean we can add it. I mean we do supply a lot of people outside of the kind of consumer FPV market, and their legality and keeping things legal, because obviously increasing these rates does fall outside of the law in many countries. So we do try to keep things legal for that, and we're getting a lot of sales, a lot of interest outside of our kind of primary market here. But if it's something that the community wants, then yeah, we can add it. But I still would like to see a blind test.
See if it matters.
Yeah, I am down to do this blind test. If you release this code for me, I'm down for that. Yeah.
Tony, are we gonna release it?
Well,
should we release it?
Yeah, we'll release it under a branch code that you guys can get access to. So
all right,
okay,
you can test it
Yeah.
for us.
wow.
But,
And so what
making
do you
shit
think?
happen.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm down. Like I'm gonna do this blind test for sure. And what do you guys think about this? You know, remote ID idea that ExpressLRS guys also doing that, making like a
So this is absolutely brilliant, right? So you take a racing quad and your receiver now supports remote ID. This is all good. Where does it get its GPS data from?
Well,
do you have a GPS on your racing quad?
At some point, we all will. If you want to fly legally, you have to have GPS.
Okay.
So everyone will be adding more GPSs, on their quads.
Okay. So why wouldn't you put the Bluetooth remote ID module on the GPS? Why mess with your critical control link where you don't want to drop
If
a packet?
Orqa makes the GPS with remote ID in it, that'd be even more awesome. But it has to be something relatively small. You know what I mean? Like I know you guys can figure it out and make it 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter.
It can be really small, but we had that discussion actually today. Like what would make sense actually, and we were like saying, who would want a GPS on a racing quad? Because in racing, you're about like trying to lose every gram if possible, trying to make the quad as light as possible. You don't want anything that's really not essential.
Yeah.
And right now you want to add GPS.
So
right. Well,
I
I
mean-
guess the answer is nobody wants it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it. I definitely don't want it. But some people are going to want to follow the rules, and
Alright.
and those people are going to need a product to buy. Like,
Yeah.
But wait,
Yeah.
let's explore that a little bit. That's interesting, right? So
yeah.
you know, what power limit do we use for 5.8 gig in any race?
25 milliwatt.
I think
So-
so.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that legal without a ham license in the US?
Yeah. I think so.
Well, I don't think it is.
No, it's
I
not.
know it's not.
I tell
It's
you,
not.
All
I tell
right.
you, the limit is 1 milliwatt.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact, it's less than 1 milliwatt.
All right.
It's just
Right.
it's not measured directly.
All
It's
right, then Neil, your
hierarchy.
answer was 1 milliwatt.
So-
you know, that's what we're using.
So, yeah. So every single pilot, I guarantee that 99% of the pilots at IO didn't have a ham license. So for some reason, we're okay with this, but this remote ID thing comes along and generates a lot of media coverage, and all of a sudden everyone's panicking that it's the end of FPV. I say bollocks. I think it's just another. Yeah, it's interesting for some platforms, but I guess I'm not too worried about it.
like I have an answer for that. So, like I've never seen anyone chased for like not having a ham license, you know. But I've seen people being chased by FAA, like, you know, YouTubers, you know, if they like post something, and I've seen them being prosecuted, you know, and that happens. That's why people talk
But
about that a
you
lot.
can't determine if somebody has remote ID remotely, right? You can't tell that from a YouTube
you
video.
can't, yeah.
A Karen will tell you, but you need a Karen.
Yeah, but then, like, you know, like if you share a video, you know, like
God, I love Tony.
nice, beautiful video of like you racing in the bushes, you know, in the trees or something.
Alright.
And then FAA, they actually watch YouTube, and they, you know, like that happened before. They chase people by their YouTube videos, and they can ask you,
But-
hey, did you
But
have
who,
remote
but who
ID?
can
How do they know if you have remote ID?
but who can tell that you didn't have a remote ID at the time when the video
Yeah,
was
no, like I'm just
recorded?
imagining myself, right? Imagine they ask me, hey, like Ivan, we saw your video and just wondering, did you have your remote ID? If I say
Yes.
Of course.
If I say
Yes, I had.
if I say yes, then it's a way bigger crime for me. Like you don't want to lie. At least I don't want to lie to, you know, federal government.
Okay,
That's serious.
Ivan, did you fly? Did you fly with your ham license?
Yeah,
So you have a ham license?
yeah.
So you
ask him
did
to show it.
so
Even if he
you
didn't,
did-
he wouldn't tell you.
so this is also a big crime, lying about your ham license.
Well,
right?
I'm lying to you. I'm lying to you, right? And then also, as I said, ham license. Nobody really ever interested from ham organization.
Interesting
You know.
comment I'm seeing is that the ham license is regulated by the FCC, and
Yeah.
and they don't have, like, I guess, an enforcement arm, but
They
the
don't care.
Yeah, you know, it's a different organizations. The FAA is like actively looking for drones. The FCC isn't out looking
Yeah,
for
but-
people flying drones.
No one is
Alright.
going to come to your local flying field where you're racing and ask for the remote ID. Remote ID is for Karens who are worried about the drone flying above their garden. You know, it's a different problem. So I think, honestly, this has gained a lot of media attention as social media is going nuts and everyone thinks the sky is falling. Honestly, it's, you know, yeah.
But
on a product
but-
side, we will
Yeah.
do what we can to support
Yeah.
remote ID.
All right, I like to hear
Right,
that.
because we're gonna need it for 107. So they say, at the very least.
Yeah.
You know, like I got a
No.
job on the calendar in October, and I'm trying to figure out what do I
Yeah.
need to do.
And
for
Neil
that job.
flies
Like,
small drones for 107 as well. So like very
Yeah.
small drones. You like
Okay.
Neil cannot
Okay.
fit 30 by 30 board on that drone. You know what I mean?
Okay, cool. No, I mean, product-wise, we will have a product that will do what it has to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, for racing, I mean,
Yeah, for racing is also different because it will be AMA field, you know, most likely.
Exactly,
You know, and then
exactly.
you don't
Right.
need to have it there. But if you wanna like, you know, do some a little bit whatever, you know, like then you might need it.
But even the no quarter ranch now I see is a FRIA.
Is it?
but okay,
Is it?
like
that would be the first private property FRIA I've heard of happening.
Exactly,
Like,
because
I
I've
didn't
heard
realize
they
that.
deny-
I saw this posted yesterday.
I've heard they
But
deny
they-
private properties.
No,
Yeah, we'll have to-
it
we'll have
was,
to
Yeah.
further investigate.
Lead-
But
Lead Boy,
congratulations to them if that happened.
That's what he said.
Oh yeah, look, Doug Klink saying yep in the chat. Well, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good
this
for
is
him.
awesome.
So, like,
Congratulations,
like,
lad boy.
Yeah, so
Oh,
like
this is big.
oh yeah, so yeah, Doug says all approved. So to my knowledge, then like congratulations, that's the first private property, privately owned FRIA that I've heard knowledge of. So that's very
Cool.
exciting.
So now we need Andy
Yeah.
to buy new property and also do that for his property. Right?
Oh, sad. I drove by Andy's property today, and it's got a different for sale sign on it. Like
They're selling it again? Damn it.
Yeah, I actually drove in there and just stood, like, looked at the towers. The towers are still there. Like,
Hey, you
they're
can buy it, Neil.
Yeah, well, like, if somebody want to
Yeah.
give me, like, we want to raise, like, a couple 100,000, 700,000, something like that. We could get it bought, and we could. I'll put the paperwork in for a FRIA too.
Hey,
We can like make it owned by a.
Vladka, if you give us $700,000, we can put Orqa flag on the property.
Right, it could be Orqa.
Or is it only one flag or more?
As many as you want.
Yeah, like Neil will tattoo Orqa on his butt. Like that's real.
It's possible.
That's worth 700K. Okay.
Yeah, 700K.
And you get to see
Hey,
it,
just
right?
Yeah.
But wait, the easy way to
Well, do it
get
on the
money
live
these
stream.
days out of drone companies is just ransomware. I mean, just extort the
Oh,
company
there we
somehow.
go.
Yeah. Oh,
I bet we
these
could
guys.
get DJI for sure. They could write that check, no problem.
Yeah, but wait, guys. Let's get back to the drone ID product.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because now we are talking about it, and one thing came to my mind. So, Ivan, you are the Betaflight developer, and so in order to set up the remote ID device, let's imagine a GPS antenna with remote ID device built in. So we need some interface to set up the thing, to add your ID, pilot ID, and whatever is needed.
Yeah.
So can we get like a tab or something in Betaflight to set up the remote ID, like a remote ID tab in Betaflight?
Like I think it would be possible. It's not only my call because I don't have that. Now you're like trying to get away.
Big boss? We thought you.
Yeah, like because I'm not a big boss in Betaflight. I am just a small developer.
No. We always see you with Betaflight t-shirt, so you are the guy.
Yeah, if you got the t-shirt, you definitely.
You are the guy.
To have the t-shirt.
No, but for real, I mean, in order to make this thing easy for everybody, we need some kind of easy way of setting up the device. So it would really make sense to have that remote ID tab, or at least some part of the Betaflight configurator where you can.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly how it works. But maybe there are some issues with remote ID and open source because if you allow open source to adjust whatever you want there, then you can fake anything you want, and maybe
No. There's
No.
There's two classes. There's two classes of remote ID. The kind of remote ID that will be an add-on. This isn't an issue.
Yeah.
The kind of remote ID that you need to run on an ARF, RTF, there it's very different. And there you can't even use an open source control link because it's too easy to hack into the system.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go into that.
You can't. Yeah.
So what do you want to set up there, Vladka? Like what exactly you want to set up there in that tab?
I think it's just a pilot ID, right?
Pilot ID, yeah.
Like I think the ideal way, like for me, what I'm thinking, even to put on racing drone, is a little board. I guess is separate from Ghost. I don't know why did I say like it has to be like a separate even from Ghost, like a separate board with GPS built in that you just provide power.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And then it has
no, but it has to have your pilot ID.
Yeah, and then you have a separate USB like micro USB plug that you just plug it in, and with a little Ghost software you just change your pilot ID and like.
But why not do it in Betaflight when you're configuring everything in Betaflight?
Yeah, like you can do that, but it will be a separate
because once you connect the GPS to the flight controller, it will be the same way that you're connecting GPS is right now. You have the same connection.
So with connecting,
it's UART. So it's yours. So you just need somehow to configure to basically send the data to that
like,
device.
That would be totally possible. But what I'm thinking, like, even if you, because if you have to connect to your quad GPS and also a separate remote ID unit, and then
No,
GPS,
no, 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 no. No,
then what
no,
is
we
it?
are talking about imagine the GPS device.
Yeah.
Same looks exactly the same the way that the GPS look these days.
Yeah.
But imagine that it has also built-in remote ID. But
Yeah.
you need a way to input your pilot ID into this device.
Yeah.
So I imagine the easiest and most and the best way would be through Betaflight because you're already there setting up everything. Why not do that also?
So I think, like, I understand your idea, and like this is totally possible. Like we can probably do it in Betaflight, but I think the easiest way, if you have your separate USB, like mini USB, to set it up, because then you can work with iNav, keys, ArduPilot, anyone. Like nobody has to change the
But you actually don't need USB because this device is already connected to the flight controller via UART.
But then all these flight controllers will have to do that, because there are a lot of ArduPilots guys, and then you also need to talk to ArduPilot. There are a lot of keys pilots, and then you also need to talk to keys pilots.
I mean, this has to be like this is. I imagine this to be one of the easiest open source tasks.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
I'm not. Yeah.
But why you're against the USB-C into it? And
because that means that device would not be that as small as it could be without a USB connector. Why would you need another connector just to input your pilot ID in this?
Yeah, because that will allow. So if you have like wires that has to be connected to Betaflight, then you have to have dedicated port for that, and not all drones have.
But you already have it. No. But you already have it.
It's shared with the GPS port.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Some drones and some quads don't have GPS. They don't need GPS.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let me ask you a question.
Have
you ever seen an ESC with a USB port for update?
No.
Like a 4-in-1. They don't do it because it's a lot easier to pass through the FC, and I think the same goes for the GPS. Why would you want yet another peripheral?
So let me answer that. So the thing with ESC, you have to connect ESC. Well, you have to have ESC on your drone, and you have to connect it to your flight controller in order for the whole thing to work, right? But a lot of people just don't need GPS. They don't need to see their GPS coordinates.
But you need FC.
Yeah.
But you need flight controller anyhow, and you have this.
Some flight controllers Some flight controllers don't have enough ports. Like they have like 2 UART ports out. You don't have a way to connect it. You know what I mean? And then if you're able to set it up through USB, then
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Whereas you just solder 2 power wires, make it being powered from 5 volt or 6S, whatever, and then you're good. You don't even have to worry about GPS. It's just somewhere there working. But you don't need it,
But if you had a GPS on a racer and you lost it in the long grass and you didn't hook up that GPS wire to Betaflight, you wish you did.
With the remote
GPS
ID,
can be kind of useful.
Well, Tony, didn't you tell me like 2 years ago that GPS is for pussies?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
He said that.
I feel that.
Just minutes before he lost his drone in the ocean.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So the thing is, right, with that remote ID, the thing with that remote ID, even if you don't have GPS, you can check where your drone is in this little weird app,
true.
right? So you don't need a GPS in your flight controller.
And Karen can see where you crash.
And also the micro USB or USB-C are not that big. Like I can leave, if you tell me, all right, board can be 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter, but because of your stupid USB-C, it has to be 10 millimeters by 1 millimeter. I am cool with that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like this is appropriate. Like, yeah. So
okay, so you will be the one to blame when these modules will be like really big.
It's Ivan's fault.
You can blame me in public. That's for sure. Yeah. This is Ivan, and you can blame me.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So let's talk about IO.
It's an interesting discussion.
Yeah,
it
very
is.
interesting discussion.
Right, I think it gets a little bit spicy, a little bit.
I think that most racers would prefer to sweep it under a rug. Like
Yeah.
we all want to live in a world where it doesn't exist. But at some
I
point, we're
think-
going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
so tell me about IO. You guys went to IO. It was not your first IO. What made you decide to go back? Why'd you go to IO?
Why?
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't for the flying because this is the first IO I haven't actually flown at.
Okay.
For
I
me,
think
and
that's
I-
okay.
And I'd actually discussed this with Leica before the event. For us, this is networking. This is
Yeah.
remaining close to the community.
Yep.
100%,
And without this IO trip, this change in direction on the FC line wouldn't have happened. So
Nice.
it's a networking event. It's awesome to see everyone there year after year. The Tiny Whoop tent. I mean, geez, I'd fly around the world to go to the Tiny Whoop tent. That's pretty cool.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, as Tony said, it's 100% networking for us, like meeting people, listening to what people want, what people don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, we had like super interesting chats with the guys from the Tiny Whoop scene, because we are also trying to do something for the micros, and like getting that valuable feedback and input from them. I mean, it's completely different thing when you talk to someone in person than if you just have a video call or something like
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of love for IO in the chat. It's just a beautiful place. Two Dog says you come for the racing, but you stay for the Tiny Whoop tent. Like King saying IO is magical. Like it just really is a special place, and like it's a good that you guys are there to network, but it's just a damn good time.
It's the Burning Man of the.
Oh
drone
yeah,
business.
exactly.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect description.
I also
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to say that, like, if you can come to IO and you don't, some people can't come, family stuff, but if you can come to IO and you don't, then you probably don't even FPV, like, then what are you even doing, right?
Right.
I also
really
wanted to go ahead, Tom.
So I'm really surprised that IO it doesn't attract more people, because it's, if you're in this hobby, this thing is an absolutely amazing event on so many levels. So I'm actually surprised. I think we
Yeah.
had this year 240 pilots signed up.
Sounds about right.
But,
Yeah. Also, I want to say one thing. Like, one thing that I saw with my own eyes and it made me realize how much of work, like actual physical work, is needed for this thing to happen. Because like it was the last day of the IO, and everything was like most of the people already left. We were between the last people who left, and I saw Chris Thomas and the guys basically packing up all of the tracks. It's unimaginable amount of shit that you have to put away to pack up
Yeah.
I mean, they've been working like day and night. It's really hard work, and it's a lot. So
Yeah.
I mean, really, I realized it's not a joke. It's really a serious thing.
Yeah.
It's a serious thing, and it's like huge thanks to all the volunteers that make that event happen. That's a whole other line later down on the list, but we can skip to it now. I mean, like IO is such an amazing event, but it only happens because really a small handful of people bust their ass for like 10 days straight.
Totally.
To make that event happen so that everyone else can come there and just have the time of their life. So just huge thanks to all the volunteers at IO. Like, it's really too many to name, but like I gotta name a couple. And number one on the list is like Phil Ablasta. He was in charge of all the track builds at IO. He ran a bunch of tracks at IO. He built it, he tore it down. He is the man. Like, I love Phil so much.
Yeah,
he
me
puts
too.
in so much work at IO, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to call him an unsung hero, but he's not sung enough. He is a hero, And like, and everybody, if you see Phil out there in the world, like tip your hat to that man, because so much of IO wouldn't happen without him being there to do it. And I don't want to like, it's like, sounds like I'm singling him out. So many people do a lot of work, but I really think just at all points, Phil goes above and beyond to make it happen. And like, just as a pilot, I've like, who's attended every IO now, and I'm very proud to say that, like, I would prefer to be at a track that Phil is running than anybody else. I mean, like, aside from that, he just works like all those days straight to make it happen. He's also running a track with a smile on his face, like moving heats through, but like making people feel good about it. And like, it's just something special about that guy. And like, I just love him so much. So huge thanks to Phil for making that happen.
Yeah, Mr. Phil, you got certainly a special place in the heart, in my heart.
Yeah. I just want to say, like I realized when everybody packed up and left, and these guys are still there. They still have like a shit ton of work to do, and it's really hard work. Like that made me realize how much of the effort is needed for this.
Yeah. Props of asking if the volunteer list public. I don't know about that.
I don't know if it is, but it should be, because everybody on that list is a hero, and there's no possible way that I could like really name everybody that was a part of it. And so like really like everybody that helped is a huge thanks. It's like,
exactly. Chris Thomas, if you're watching, you gotta, Chris Thomas or Chris Thompson, both of you, you gotta make
whoever it is.
you gotta make this list public. So yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
This is,
and so like, just I guess like keep saying thank yous though, but like CT, always got a tip of the hat for you. Thank you like for your vision and your always support. Thank you, Superior Run Roofing. Like I don't think MultiGP would be around, well, for sure, without you and your support.
Exactly.
Claire, like we had a topic to talk about MultiGP. It's been on our list since our first live stream, and it keeps getting pushed off. And so I just got to say that like MultiGP has done a lot this year to change the team of people like at the top to really like work. And there's new people at the top, and a lot of people are helping out there. But I think Claire Calzano has moved into MultiGP, and I feel like everything has run smoother since she's been a part of it. And you can see her there like doing a lot of work, and like I just really can feel like I feel things moving around her, and I appreciate everything that's happening around her. Chris is here in the chat, saying, look, Doug makes all the tech happen. We wouldn't have live streams or DVR without Doug. I appreciate that so much.
ZPQ.
Roger, like making the ZPQ, it really has improved everyone's IO experience so much with the ZPQ, because if anybody doesn't remember, in the first IOs, there were these tables that you had to line up at, and you had to stand in line between every heat to go sign in before you had ZPQ. So ZPQ has really, really done a lot. Michelle's on my list here. Like she wrangles all the volunteers and voluntold and keeps them in line. And like, that's a huge thing to really keep everybody going.
Two Dog.
Yeah, Two Dog is on my list here. Like he does a lot behind the scenes, keeping it moving. And then a whole other line item later down on this, but it's kind of in charge of getting the tracks, working with the track designers and getting the tracks made. And I know that is a very difficult job on its own, but everybody saw the sort of fiasco that went down prior to IO. And I think that made it even more difficult. And I really feel for Mark and all of that, and just really appreciate all the work that all the MultiGP people have done to make, just MultiGP happen in period, but also make IO happen. It is literally my favorite week of the year. And like, it just wouldn't happen without everyone's help. Awesome. So like, that's just like a huge thing. We
can't forget the guys behind the tiny whoop tent also.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
everyone else is sleeping off the racing day. These guys are still going all night.
And it was beautiful to see, Jesse this year had a baby. super congrats to him. Like, that's so awesome. Love to see like a literal tiny whoop be brought into the world by Jesse P himself, and like so happy for him for that. But he wasn't able to make it to IO, and like, but so cool to see like the whole Tiny Whoop Nation step up and make the tent still happen. Like, that was really beautiful to see for sure. And like, I really had fun at our Shit Pilot happy hour there. Like, that was so much fun.
Yeah, I think Chris
that
Perry
night,
was
like,
running the timing system at Tiny Whoop, right?
Yeah, he did for the final race, and they
Yeah.
really made that race happen. And we had the TQ and champion, like Custom RC Mods, was in the chat earlier. He won that race at like 3 a.m, called by Joe Scully. So that was exciting to see. We had Tiny Whoop champion here in the chat with us too. And yeah, Sky and Ferry jumped up to run the spec track. I mean, just we could sit here all day and call out names. It's just really everybody that makes it happen. Is just huge thanks to everyone.
Yeah, I felt
there.
a little
Like,
bit ashamed that like we never get to visit freestyle track and see what's happening there. But
yeah, well,
I'm
not
sure
in
guys.
the daytime.
Yeah. So, but
I'm really looking forward to for the next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vladka said he's bringing one quad, Freedom Spec quad, to do the oval.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good only for the oval race.
Crazy oval, this
Yeah.
is the way. Tony, you gonna join Crazy Oval or what?
The oval is great.
I think we lost Tony again.
Tony, your mic's dead again.
Yeah, so
Dead.
So
No.
yeah, and shout out to Dan and Jace. They were really the ones who stepped up to do
Yeah.
make the Tiny Whoop 10 happen. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, Mr. Neil, very well said. I even, yeah, very,
Thanks.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
So-
it. Just
so-
like he's
Yeah,
back.
you're
So
back.
just thanks to everyone. Like, I just love IO so much. I know everybody loves it so much, and just appreciate all the work that everybody does to make that happen. Just like love you all.
Hey guys,
Appreciate it.
can I read next question that is
Please.
in the list?
Yeah, please.
Why Neil and Ivan are such shit pilots, especially at IO?
So, can you also say who figured out this question?
No, you can just answer this. Try to answer this.
So I'm gonna say when we talked with Vladka about this live stream, I was like, well, we're gonna prepare some questions, spicy questions for you Orqa guys, and Vladka like, no. Then I gotta ask my questions too, and he was like, my question is, why Ivan and Neil are such a shit pilot, and especially at IO.
especially at the IO.
Especially at
Yeah,
IO.
Okay.
especially at IO.
So-
Yeah, we really neither of
What
us
happened?
performed very well this year. I'll speak for myself
Yeah.
only that I didn't perform very well, but I had like more fun at this IO than I think anyone yet. And like I think like it's important, everybody has their own road for IO, and I'll tell you that I won this IO. Like, that's for sure. So
Yeah,
Alright.
exactly.
yeah.
So yeah, well, me and Neil had a lot of party time, and it's not like it's an excuse. We are shit pilots, and like even if we try our best, we still shit pilots. We could probably
But that-
do a
but
little
that-
bit better, you know.
But I think you did better last year, right?
We did better
Yeah.
based on the results of the actual official racing events. We both did better
Yeah.
last year. But
Yeah.
are those the true results of IO? I don't know. I don't know.
So
Like,
I
also Vladka is like very targeting. I think also like not just Neil and me. So I think at Freedom Spec I did pretty shitty as a like real shit pilot at Freedom Spec. I wish we spent a little bit of more time on that track,
Yeah.
but also I can't sacrifice the parting time because that was also fun. But I did.
Right.
I think I did okay for World Cup track. I think I ended up like number 22. And
Yeah,
if you
that's
see,
pretty good.
if you
Not
see
bad.
down the list who is like number 15, 16, they're like all crazy fast pilots. This is IO, which like Evan didn't win. Like, can you imagine how many fast pilots
didn't
they
even
are?
make it to finals.
Yeah,
yeah.
I ended up 22. I'm still shit pilot, but I'm okay with that. Especially taking into account all the party time we
Hey
had.
guys,
and-
is it about like the time is flying and you're getting too old for this? Could it be that?
It could be, next year. I'm crazy enough. Technically, we'll be able to race in the over 40 race, although I won't because I won't be 40 yet. But time is flying. I don't know if it's because we're getting older or we're having more fun. I don't know, but it's definitely flying.
But
All right.
flying.
At the youngsters.
yeah, but also
Yeah.
I also want to say that like that
One day you will end up like me and Tony on the oval track.
Yeah,
Yeah, on
that'd be
oval
cool.
track.
Oval track is so fun, but that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
say. That like you're like a lot of people showing up at IO to fly drones and have fun, and you find your own
Sure.
balance. Like if you don't perform well, nobody cares except Vlatka. You know what I mean? So like
No, I don't care about
blame
that.
nobody gonna blame
I
you for
only
crashing. You know, and
Yeah. No,
It's okay. But you're
I
right.
only-
Last year, it looked really dope when Yvonne and I were both in the top 6 all Orqa pilot
Yeah.
photo
Yeah.
from the Freedom Spec
Yeah.
race. Like that was dope. That was a very exciting moment, and we definitely had like really good performance
Yeah.
results last year, and I'm like proud of
Yeah.
that. But I'm also not unproud of my results this year because we just had so
yeah,
much fun.
we had a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Cool.
And that's what I'm saying. You
Alright.
like you guys, if you guys thinking like, oh, IO is so much for racers. Well, first of all, there is a freestyle track which was pretty dope, and also besides all of that, there's so much stuff to do. The party is going on all day and night. Like you
Yeah,
don't have
Yeah.
to show up to fly. You can have fun and just fly a little bit of drones. You don't. Some people show up even don't fly drones. Like I've seen a few people that just
like myself.
yeah, like
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah.
Like this guy and this guy, they showed up. They didn't bring drones, and like they had a lot of fun. So guys,
Right.
Tony
IO,
actually did. Tony did bring his drones, but he didn't fly. I
Alright.
didn't even bother
I-
bringing.
Yeah,
I brought my son to have all the fun this year. That was the first IO that
He
could
did look like he had a lot of fun. It
Yeah,
looked like he was
Mr.
into it,
Spencer,
for
yeah.
sure.
He's
on
a-
and off the track.
On it. Well, see, that's what it's about. Then he did his IO right. He did it right.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
don't
It-
miss IO next year. Just don't miss it, guys. And
Sure.
it's
Yeah,
not only
yeah.
for
no, it's
racers.
good.
Just whatever you're watching, just show up at IO. MultiGP,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yep.
do that. That's
Well,
so much
I'll throw
fun.
us on to the next
Yep.
one. Like,
Yeah.
this IO was also pretty special for me and for you. Also, I feel like Yvonne, because it was like the debut of Shit Pilot, or the first IO with Shit Pilot being a big part of it, and
Yeah.
like that was very special. It's kind of the first gathering of all of the people since we launched Shit Pilot, and our first like time to see people. We knew that there had been a lot of support in the community just based on like what our how many people, like what our sales were, but like was so cool to see people just walking around and seeing our stuff in the wild. Like that was very cool.
That's cool. And
yeah.
you want to talk about the winner?
Yeah, absolutely. And then also the winner, Yuki FPV, was wearing a Shit Pilot t-shirt all day long through the World Cup race. Not until the very finals did they have him put on his official Raiden Racing jersey, which I get. But that was super cool. And then I did not hear this myself, but was told this by Amari's dad, so super reliable source, that after Yuki won, he ran up to his dad and they both were firing each other up, a bunch of Japanese back and forth, and then screamed Shit Pilot to each other at the very end, both just screaming Shit Pilot. And
Yeah.
when I heard that, it really brought a tear to my eye to think so cool to see this crazy idea and concept that we have, that that everybody's a shit pilot. And when you say everybody's a shit pilot, I really mean it. But that really is it really is a global thing, right? And then to see these guys from Japan adopting that and screaming that to each other like a chant before the race, and then cheering and screaming it afterwards is just so amazing. And it's so special to me. And I don't know, I just got to thank everybody out there that has supported Shit Pilot and supported us. It's it really is what it's all about, that it's we're all a part of it, and it's just so cool to see people embrace that and it move like it has. So that was
Yeah.
really special for me.
Yeah, thanks for support, guys. And if you want to continue support, or if you're new to Shit Pilot, there's a website, literally shitpilot.com without spaces. And that leads to our little store that made by Neil. I think it's pretty cute. Not as
Yep.
cute as Neil, of course.
No, but kind of
yeah.
cute. And then also
can I ask a question?
For
yeah,
sure.
go ahead.
Sorry, I actually realized that there are multiple different t-shirt designs, and I before IO I thought there is only that one with this
Right,
toggle
with the
switch.
save button.
So I realized there are at least 3, 4, I don't know, or different designs. Who does the designs, and how do
Well, it's kind of like I'll say that I head the design division, but I don't do the designs. I'll say that it's definitely a group effort. Yvonne has a lot to say about it. Jay Rice in the chat. A lot of people know Jay Rice. He's a part of the Street League top crew. He's helped a bunch with some of the design. He helped me do like this actual logo. He helped me build. He helped me build the sock puppet like a wanted poster, and like he actually did the clicking and moving, but that was like a whole like
No, well, my wife
group
also
think
helped with
design.
that to polish the clicking.
Oh, sure.
ship
You know, like
pilot.
so,
Yeah.
like a lot of people have helped a whole bunch. You know, so like that's kind of what's cool about it too, is that you know it's also a lot of the design is kind of like crowdsourced from the community too, and we got a lot of cool ideas at IO that people are like have cool ideas about other products we could do. So yeah, I think it's been a fun thing. So I think we have now 5 or 6 designs for sale. You can find them all at shitpilot.com. You can also find them at the 533 store now. So like Evan made, or we had a bunch of product made to sell at IO that we were able to sell quite a few of, but we had more left over that we knew we were going to put into retailers, and Evan and Mondo want to be like, they're our first retailer. So they have specially made, like locally made merch. So it's like actually I think a little higher quality the t-shirt is than what's made from the Shit Pilot store. Like this is just our first store. We're kind of working on making another one our own, but you can find some really cool stuff and a few designs at the 523 store as well. So it's kind of cool to just see it start to creep out there and like look for more to come for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You
you wanna kind of like slowly finish, or
yeah. Well, or
because it's already like past 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I have some news, guys.
All right. Flight controller.
So our discussion of the remote ID in the GPS stream apparently
You've been
piqued the interest of some of the lead beta flight devs who have reached out to me.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow. See, look, this is powerful talk. It's powerful stuff we're doing here, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, I was actually hoping for this, and Ivan was like struggling. He was like pushing away as hard as he could. He was working against it.
Not against.
Yeah,
I just can't speak for Beta Flight. I am a part of the team.
No.
I am a small guy in Beta Flight.
You are the guy with the T-shirt. Shut up.
Well, yeah.
So the seed.
I gotta give
the
you
seed
T-shirt
has been
too.
planted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
Well, that's good. Well,
The seed has been planted, and there was one other thing I wanted to mention that we said we mentioned on the stream.
yes.
So Orqa is going to have a brand new employee in about a week.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
All right.
So we have a young lady who's quite influential in the FPV scene, Liz Sugano, who's actually moving to Croatia
Nice.
to get involved with marketing and supporting sponsored pilots and sponsoring events. And
She's actually doing that already, but now she'll be here with us in the office.
Yeah.
Official, on site, huh? Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting for Liz. Exciting
So,
for you guys, for sure.
The cool
And
thing about
exciting for
this
the
is
community.
there'll be the European scene is a little quieter than the US, and I think one of the goals here is that we spice up a bit the European scene. So hoping for some European events coming out of this.
Nice.
Yeah, this is
that'll be very
awesome.
cool.
So, like, all the cool guys moving to Croatia, Neil, should we like just move there
course.
too, or what? Like,
Both of our
you're
wives
welcome.
want us to move, so
Yeah,
like, maybe
exactly.
Croatia needs to go on the list.
yeah.
that's-
Would you hire us, Mr. Tony or Vladka?
Yeah.
Like, I don't
No.
know. Neil.
No, Tim.
No.
Neil can do
Well,
a lot
depends.
of nice,
I've
Neil
got
can
a
do a
lot of
lot of
skills.
nasty things. You know what I mean? So
You know what listen. So one thing is that we are. I don't know. You may not know this, but we are struggling with getting the field for our permanent racetrack around here. So this is the thing that we really miss. And I guess you also experienced this with your last field that you had, and now it's gone. Like this is basically the place where people meet, not just to fly, but to actually hang out, and so we don't have that place here, and we are actively working on that to actually secure the field, and I think we are pretty close to that. And actually, Neil, as an experienced track designer, might come in handy to design a track for us,
Yeah.
and maybe come
That'd be
here
cool.
to for a grand opening or whatever we're
Oh, I
gonna
like
do. I
that.
don't know.
Well, that's interesting. You know, I've been kind of like, that's very interesting to me. I think it'd be very cool. Like, an idea I've been toying with in my head is like, and I don't think we're going to get through all of our lists before we finish this live stream, but I've had this idea in my head to like start like a grower track designs incorporated or something like that. And like like a fish, like make professionalized track design as like a service for these top tier racing organizations. And it's just
That
kind of
sounds
been
cool.
something in my head and like, you know, kind of soft pitching it here to see what people think about it. But I think that'd be a great project for like Grower Designs Incorporated.
Hey,
for sure.
don't
Well,
forget.
I have
if you-
I have a
yeah.
challenge for you.
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, shoot.
So, Orqa is kind of blessed because the city, actually, is it a city or is it a town? One of the two. That
What's the
Orqa
difference?
sits in has one
Yeah.
of the most amazing bandos
Oh yeah.
that you know the world has ever seen, and
Yeah.
you know, we have fairly good access to it, and we do a lot of flight testing there.
Mm. We lost Tony.
Your mic
Yeah.
died again, Tony.
Yeah.
Yay!
I think Mr. Tony
Okay.
wanted to invite you to design the tracks for bandos.
I'm down. That would be sick. But that's definitely I gotta
Yeah.
be on.
You're back. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear.
You're
We
good.
got it fixed now.
You're good.
Yeah, so what I want to do is I want to do a race
Yeah.
at this site, you know, with a suitably designed track.
Yeah.
Oh.
And make it a little different than the classic gates and flags kind of track.
That'd be sick.
Oh,
That'd be
that
sick.
would be something different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to say the least.
Invite only, special event.
Oh hell
Hey,
yeah. That'd be
don't
awesome.
forget, guys, don't forget that Neil is awesome, you know, track designer, but also I am the only one professional track bitching. So
That's true. That's
after Neil
true.
designs the
Important
tracks,
part.
he needs to speak to me to bitch about his tracks. So that's a
Yeah.
part of
Okay.
the that's part of the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
it is,
Okay.
it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deal. Well,
Yeah, deal.
I just gotta
Alright.
say,
So,
like,
yeah.
it's been really awesome having you guys on tonight, and like
sure.
really appreciate y'all staying up late to make this happen. It's now got to
Yeah.
be like past 4 a.m. for you guys, so I really
Yeah.
appreciate y'all
Yeah, thanks a lot.
staying up to do this. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we got as for the end, I think the main pieces is that no HDzero Orqa goggles. That's not happening. But flight controller with diversity receiver on board for HDzero pilots. This is coming in next 1, 2, maximum 3 months. Right. Also, Ghost analog flight controller also coming in the next and also
These two are coming in at the same moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and also the timing system is in
Laptimers.
production already. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
much happening.
Laptimers.
You guys are busy boys over there.
Oh yeah.
You and
Oh,
the
yeah.
team. You and the team. Well,
And these are just the products we can talk about.
yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
damn.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tony,
Thank you.
don't talk about the products that we cannot talk about.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
We made it all the way through here to before we say it. So, good job.
Hey guys,
Well-
thank you for having us in this live stream. It was really a lot of fun, and I
Yeah.
think we touched base on a lot of different topics. And I'm really glad that we actually planted a seed in the beta flight dev
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
community. So yeah, I loved it, and I mean, yeah, it's really cool. It's really late or early already here, but it was 100% worth it.
Good. That was awesome. So cool to have y'all.
Yeah. And Mr. Tony,
Okay.
special thanks to you for joining. This was
No problem.
Awesome. It was awesome to have you and have your insights about technical stuff. That was awesome.
Okay. Hey, Vladko, I'll see you in the office in 3 hours.
Yeah,
I thought Vladka is the boss. Yeah, all right,
That's
guys.
why that's why I don't have to be there at 7. I can come at 7:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7:15. Make it 8, y'all. Just say Grower said it was okay.
Yeah, and
Okay,
thank you very
okay.
much for all the viewers. I think we peaked like at 70, which is pretty good for mine. Then we'll
At
have
one
like
time, yeah.
at one time, and then usually I have like 1,000-2,000 views later. So I hope if you watch it
Awesome.
later, you also enjoy it. Because if you don't enjoy it, then get the fuck out of here. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
You did
stop.
So it's
enjoy
worth
you
buying
stayed
this
a
fancy
long-ass
microphone
time.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It's
Yeah,
so
and so I'm stopping live stream. Thank you very much, viewers. Yeah. See you later in the next
Thanks.
live stream
Thanks,
if I'm not
everyone.
lazy.
Yep.